everyone. Welcome back to the show. It's Lily here, and I'm joined by my co-host, Sam.
Hey everyone! Today, we're covering a topic a lot of English learners ask about: how to start thinking in English. This one skill can really boost your fluency and help you sound more natural.
We'll be sharing 9 practical tips to make English a natural part of your thoughts. If you're used to translating in your head, these strategies can help you start thinking directly in English.
These tips are practical and based on what we've seen work for other learners. Grab a notebook to jot them down if you like. But we also have a free PDF guide in the description with everything we're covering today.
And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button. And let us know in the comments which tip you're excited to try. Alright, let's get into it. Tip 1. Immerse yourself daily in English. Surround yourself with English as much as possible. This could be TV shows, music, books, or even social media.
Exactly. If you're constantly hearing and reading English, it starts to feel more natural. Try watching a short video in English each day, even if it's just 5 minutes.
Podcasts are also great for this, especially conversational ones. Even if you don't understand every word, just listening helps you pick up vocabulary and the rhythm of English.
And remember, it's all about exposure. The more English you surround yourself with, the more familiar it will feel.
Moving on to tip 2, repeat phrases from media. If you're watching an English show, pick out phrases or sentences and say them back out loud.
Try to match their tone and speed. It's a great way to practice pronunciation and helps you get a feel for natural English.
Yes. Pretend you're an actor repeating lines. You don't need to worry about perfection, just focus on echoing the words and expressions you hear.
Exactly. You're creating muscle memory for English phrases. And don't worry if it feels a little awkward at first. It gets easier with practice.
Tip 3. Think aloud in English. When you're doing simple tasks, like making coffee, try describing what you're doing in English.
It might feel a bit strange, but it's a great way to practice without pressure. Describe what's around you or what you're doing. No need for perfect sentences.
Right. This isn't about accuracy, it's about practice. It helps you start forming sentences naturally in English.
And over time, you'll find it gets easier. It's a great step toward thinking in English without even trying. Next is tip 4, minimize translation. Try to think directly in English rather than translating from your native language.
This can be tough, but it's worth it. Translating in your head slows you down and makes it harder to think naturally in English.
One way to do this is by associating English words with images or situations instead of your native words. For example, think of a picture of a dog instead of translating it.
Exactly. Over time, your brain will start to build these connections in English, making it easier to think without translation. Tip 5 is to use visualization instead of translation. This means picturing something when you hear the English word rather than thinking of the word in your language.
Right. For instance, if I say beach, you could picture sand, waves, and the ocean instead of translating.
This method makes English words feel more real and memorable, and it's a simple trick to keep your brain in English mode.
It's almost like building a mind map in English, which really speeds up your ability to think in the language.
Tip 6 is labeling items around you. Stick English words on objects in your home or workspace.
Seeing the word mirror on your mirror every day helps build automatic associations with English words, so they come to mind without translation.
On to tip 8, journaling in English. Writing down your thoughts or daily events in English is an effective way to build fluency.
Absolutely. Even just a few sentences a day can make a big difference. You're practicing sentence structure, which helps organize your thoughts in English.
Plus, it's motivating to see your progress. Over time, you'll find it easier to write and express yourself in English.
And if you get stuck on a word or phrase, look it up or try finding a simpler way to say it. Journaling is a great way to practice without pressure.
Tip 7 is engaging in self-questioning. Try asking yourself questions in English, like, what's my plan for today? Or, how am I feeling?
Self-questioning is great because it makes you think in English without needing a partner. Plus, It's a chance to practice sentence formation on the spot.
You can even make it a routine. Ask yourself questions every morning or evening, starting with simple ones. It's a good mental exercise.
And there's no pressure to answer perfectly. It's all about keeping your mind engaged with English.
And finally, tip 9, switch your devices to English. Changing the language on your phone, apps, or social media may seem small, but it's incredibly effective for developing fluency.
Right. Think about it. We interact with our devices all day long. By setting everything to English, you're adding consistent exposure to English in your everyday routine.
For example, every time you go to your phone settings, read notifications, or use an app, you'll be processing English. Even small actions, like replying to messages or checking your calendar, reinforce vocabulary and sentence structures.
And this change also helps build associations in English. Instead of seeing the word settings and mentally translating it, you start to connect that English word with the action itself. Eventually, it becomes automatic, which is exactly what we want for thinking in English.
Plus, many apps, like Instagram or Twitter, have English-specific terms and phrases that aren't easy to translate. By seeing these every day, you get familiar with real-world, often casual English.
And think about the common phrases you'll pick up too, like log in, save, share, remind, and so on. You'll see these words regularly, and pretty soon they'll become part of your natural English vocabulary.
I also recommend using voice assistants, like Siri or Google Assistant, in English. You can ask them to set alarms, look up information, or give directions, all in English. It's like having a mini English conversation whenever you use your phone.
Exactly. Voice assistants are a simple way to get comfortable giving commands in English, and they're patient if you need to repeat yourself.
And if you're on social media, consider following English-speaking pages, influencers, or channels. That way, your feed is full of English content.
That wraps up our 9 tips. If you're enjoying this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and let us know in the comments which tips you're most excited to try. And don't forget the PDF guide in the description for more insights.
We hope these tips help you start thinking in English. It's all about making small, consistent changes. Give yourself time, and soon English will feel more natural.
Exactly. Remember, learning is a journey. Every little step you take gets you closer to fluency.
Thanks so much for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and let us know which tips you'll try. Check out the PDF for more help, and we'll see you in the next episode.